blessed. Living every moment, no regrets. Smile on my face, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, living every moment, no
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because without you, this world will be more than upside down than it is right now. So just thank you. Thank you. And I hope this year, not just this day, but I hope this year be an awesome and blessed and amazing year for you and your families. Okay? Thank you again. Rabbi, we have the rabbi here today. I'll let us share a little bit about who you are and some of the journeys that you've been on, because you've been on quite the journey, Rabbi.
It's true. I've gotten around.
Yes, yes. And I want to start with you're the executive director of Resolution Northwest.
Right.
But before you start there, you were the director of
Neharim.
A national Jewish LGBT organization.
That's right.
So let's talk a little bit about the journey from there to here today.
Well, actually, I want to go even before Neharim, if that's okay.
Well, I mean, after all, you are a law student from Pennsylvania, Cornell.
That's true.
Okay,
Cornell undergraduate and law school. But I was going to start back in Washington, D.C. I worked in the labor movement for many years.
Okay.
And then had a consulting practice working with unionized companies, and that's where I cut my teeth on the conflict resolution work and mediation and facilitation work that I do today at Resolutions Northwest.
Okay.
And after that, I began my career as an executive director, and I was working at the headquarters organization of a different Jewish organization called Aleph, the Alliance for Jewish Renewal. I was there for 9 years. And while I was there, I went to seminary, and I came out a rabbi, and I came out here to Portland to serve a congregation, and I worked there for about 3 years. And then I decided that it was not quite the life for me, and I went back to nonprofit work, which is when I landed at Neharim. So see how quickly I did that?
Okay.
So
now for our viewing audience, what does Neharim mean?
It's an Aramaic word, actually, and it means lights.
Lights.
Yeah.
Lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sharing the lights, or
yeah,
just
exactly, and having our own unique light.
Okay.
You know, so really our mission was about lifting up and celebrating the diversity of experience that LGBTQ Jews brought to the community, not just welcoming and not just accepting and not just tolerating, but really celebrating the unique teaching that we had to offer and the leadership that we had to offer, and the connection that we wanted to bring our families into the Jewish faith.
Now let's talk a little bit about the uniqueness that you spoke about. But first of all,
sure.
Congratulations on your honorary award.
Oh, thank you.
From D.A.T.I
Yes.
program, Dr. Terrell's program, Dr. Audrey Terrell's Institute. Congratulations on that. Okay.
I just want to say that the
Yes.
acronym D.A.T, D-A-A-T, is a Hebrew word, and it means it's one of the words for wisdom and knowledge. So
what you say? There's a clap on that, wisdom and knowledge.
It's just proof that God exists, right?
She can use a little bit of that, right? Like in their wisdom. Absolutely.
Well, she's the embodiment of wisdom.
Absolutely.
You know, she has quite a history herself, yes.
Absolutely. You talked about a little uniqueness that you bring to the LGBT community, brings to people, and the diversity of it.
Yeah. So, you know, over the years, religion has wounded so many people around sexuality.
That word, wounded.
Yeah, so much wounding. Heterosexual people too, around the desacralization of the body, you know, and the separation of spirit and body. But certainly for LGBTQ people, scripture has been used really as a weapon against us. And so what has happened, what has emerged in the last 20, 25 years is a theology of not only acceptance, as I was saying, but also of the brilliant contributions that LGBTQ people bring. And I'm going to lay down some very, I think, exciting theology. Jewish tradition, we're very clear that God is neither male nor female. God is everything. God is all genders, no gender, everything. In the very beginning, in Breshit, in Genesis, we read that the first being was created, and then a little bit out of the earth, and a little bit later we read that a second human being was taken out of the side or the rib of that first being, right?
Right.
The first story, that being that was created, it explicitly says that first being, human, was created both male and female.
Okay.
That one being was a multiplicity. And that was the human that was created in the image of God. So there's all this negativity that religion has put out around lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people, and yet Scripture tells us that the human that was closest to God was itself this multiplicity, this complex male and female being that couldn't be pegged down. It was neither male nor female, right? It was
So
both.
where did you think the male dominant piece of it came into play?
Yeah, you know what? Religion is affected by the culture at large.
Okay.
And so it's one thing to have divine word, and it's another thing to have that word be interpreted by humans who are influenced by, if not controlled by, the world around them. And so thousands of years ago, we had a world that was dominated by a male consciousness.
Sound like today?
We're still working our way through that, right?
It's a 1,000 years journey, okay.
Right, we're working our way through that.
Okay.
And thank goodness more and more women and men of conscience are who are honoring women's voices and women's spirit and women's contribution, are recognizing that balance is what's needed, and that to the extent anybody's voice is diminished or silenced or desacralized, to the extent that any of us are made less than holy, we all suffer.
Now, as a rabbi, what has been one of your biggest challenges coming from the Jewish faith and going into a transition into the LBGT community atmosphere or lifestyle or?
Well, I'm really blessed.
Okay.
In the Jewish world, most of American Jews are incredibly progressive and open-minded and embracing of folks who are LGBTQ. So I came out as bisexual over 35 years ago.
Okay.
So I went to seminary. I was already out. I ran these 2 organizations. I was out. I've had nothing but support in terms of my personal gender identity, sexual orientation, and in terms of the theology and teachings that I've offered. I've had nothing but support. What's more difficult is living as a minority and not necessarily understood tradition in a very Christian world.
Exactly.
People just flippantly say, "Oh, the Old Testament God is a vengeful God." That's the trope. Everybody believes it. And yet, the God I'm in relationship with is loving and forgiving and has spiritual practices that we can engage in both personally and communally to ensure that when someone goes astray, you could make things right, you can restore things to wholeness. The foundation of restorative justice, which is one of the pieces of work that I do at Resolutions Northwest.
That justice piece. But that light that you were talking about earlier that comes from this this way of life and being open to people, because everybody has their light.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
And those of us who, for whatever reason, whether we are LGBTQ, whether we are African American, whether we are Latinx, all of us who live in a world that's not created for us, have to work way harder to get that light to be seen.
And with that, I want to put this out there, because with the atmosphere that's being created, I think and I feel that a lot of white Europeans feel that this only applies to African Americans, Jewish people, Hispanics, but what's going on, it affects everybody's light.
Oh my gosh, it absolutely does, because when anyone is diminished, we're all diminished.
Absolutely.
And when we're complicit in systems of whether it be white supremacy or homophobia, any system that diminishes another, when we're complicit in it, we might think that we're benefiting, we might think that our privilege protects us, but it kills our soul.
Everybody.
It kills our soul. Yeah, nobody escapes.
Dr. King once said, he stated that what affects one indirectly affects another one directly. And I say that because I see a lot of Europeans or whites, or whichever title you use, is kind of separating themselves from what's going on, not realizing what happens to someone else eventually comes around.
That's right.
It affects your family indirectly, it affects somebody you know, somebody you love.
That's right.
I want to talk about resolution.
Yes.
And what's going on there right now.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. I feel so grateful, so blessed to be at Resolutions Northwest right now in this moment after the election when when so many people are waking up to the need to address systems of white supremacy. Because we have two major programs that are so needed right now. One of them is our restorative justice program, which is mostly working in the Portland public schools, a little bit in the juvenile justice system. And our agenda is around addressing exclusionary disciplines, so suspensions and expulsions, which disproportionately affect black students, like 3 to 1. And there's so much data that shows that when you approach things differently, when you ask the person who does harm to sit down with the person who was harmed and say, okay, how can I make you whole? How can I understand what went wrong? How can I apologize, do right by you? And not only that, do some community service to kind of seal the deal. That first of all, you grow kids up right, so they're responsible and accountable, and they become wise and careful about their actions. And second of all, you keep them in school, and you avoid that school to prison pipeline, because expulsion and suspension just gets kids on the wrong track.
Exactly.
So very, very grateful to be working in a place that has that as one of our primary programs. And we also have this huge equity and anti-racism portfolio where we're doing trainings and consultation service, providing consultation services for nonprofits and for individuals who are looking to not just put Band-Aids on the way on the world, but really look at systems and structures and policies and cultures and change those so that everyone's light can shine, So I feel like my spiritual mission here, right, in life is being really so well represented. And we also have, for 30 years, a portfolio of mediation, facilitation, conflict resolution. So I like to say that we teach peace and pursue justice.
Absolutely. And now how does someone get in touch with
Resolutions Northwest?
And be a part of this, because it's huge.
It is huge. It is huge. So it's really easy, www.resolutionsnorthwest.org. You can just find us on the web. We also have a Facebook page, so it's very easy to find us, find out what classes we're offering. We do charge for our classes, but we have a pay-as-you're-able system so that you can attend something for $1. It's accessible to everybody. Yeah.
If you had a message, not if you had a message. What is your mission?
My personal mission?
The personal mission.
My personal mission is to remain awake or to keep waking up even more and provide everyone I encounter with the tools and the resources that they need to likewise wake up to the reality that we could have God's beloved community right here on this earth. And it takes each and every one of us stepping up to see and honor the beauty and the light in everyone else, to recognize how the systems and structures that have been created over time, whether it's male domination or white supremacy, have been created out of fear and greed and need, as opposed to love and compassion and invitation into the best possible human beings we can be. And we need to turn that. We need to turn our value system away from need and greed and power over to love, compassion, and inspiration.
Rabbi, we feel your light, your energy, and we appreciate you. And whatever Straight Talk can do, please let us know.
Oh, thank you so much.
Please,
what a pleasure. What a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. We have the camera waiting. The switchboard is waiting. Let's come on. Okay. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined with Miss Donna Hammond. But before we go that, I want to say again, Happy Mother's Day. And if I could sing, I would. But later on in the show, somebody's going to share something special with you. Miss Donna Hammond, how are you?
Good morning. Wonderful.
Wonderful. She said good morning. So we're around the world, wherever you're viewing, and good afternoon and good evening too as well. This lady is a trailblazer. Over 30-some years ago, this young lady was the first African American or black or Asiatic, whichever title you use, electrician in the state of Oregon. That deserves a big round clap, praise, everything. And she is now She is now on the executive body of, okay, hold on, let me get my notes right here. On the union. Help me out.
I am currently business representative.
Business representative of
The
Local 48.
Local IBEW.
She got it.
The
IBW.
International Brotherhood
Go ahead.
of Electrical Workers.
International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers.
Yes.
Yes,
But I
ma'am.
need to clarify something.
Clarify it.
That I was not the first.
You were not the first.
I was not the first.
Rewind. Dun, 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 dun. You were the
Second.
second.
Yes, and so there was a woman before me. She had actually journeyed out before I became an apprentice, and her name was
wow.
Charlie.
Charlie.
Her name was Charlene. She was a sister, the first woman who they allowed, who was permitted into our local union to become an electrician. An inside wireman was a black woman from Portland named Charlie Moden.
Charlie Mona, we honor you.
Yes.
We definitely honor you.
Yes.
And I'm glad you're here to set the record right.
Yes.
Because when you look up, they're only pulling you. But we had somebody before you that
Yes.
helped you.
Oh,
But she's
absolutely.
traveled a journey that was different than her journey.
Yes, yes.
So you really was the first in the journey that you traveled.
Absolutely, yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the difference so people can kind of understand the two different journeys.
So when I came through, there weren't a lot of women who looked like me.
Okay.
There were some brothers, and so when I would walk on a job site, I would hear, you know, here comes Charlie. And I'd say, I'm not Charlie. Oh, hell, another one.
Okay, for our young folks, what does Charlie mean?
Charlie was Charlie. Charlie was the first woman. Here comes Charlie.
Here comes Charlie.
She was
Okay.
the first woman, and she caught a lot of grief on the job. She had to sue, and because she was the first woman, there were no other women. And so everybody was not embracing of having women on the job site. It kind of broke down, you know, that was like the last frontier for men.
Okay.
The construction
The
site.
constructions, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so for me, when I came on, I had brothers, and I called them my brothers, who said, we're going to make you the best electrician that you can be.
Awesome.
And I had some who were resistant, but there were more of the brothers who wanted to include me in the brotherhood, who wanted me to be a sister.
Okay.
And so when I had a situation where the manager didn't want me around, or better, let me go back, when I was asked to be a foreman.
Okay.
And I went to the general foreman and I said, these white men will not work for me. And he said, if they don't work for you, they won't work on this project.
Okay.
And so I had that kind of support. I had from upper management who said, you're the most qualified person on the job. And so we want you to be in leadership.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question that everybody's probably asking. What made you choose this field? Electrician.
That's a good question. So I was a product of a household where I had parents who allowed me to do everything.
Okay.
So I had a mother and father who were very active in the union, in their respective unions, but I also had a father who taught me how to knit and sew.
Okay.
And then he also taught me how to work on the car. And he
Okay.
told me I could do anything that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And so,
So there wasn't a guy thing in your house.
No.
We're just working on the car, so that myth was gone.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So-
Y'all hear that, ladies out there? You can do whatever you want. You want to get up under that car? Go ahead and get up under that car.
so we worked in the yard, we did a whole bunch of stuff. But here's the other piece. My dad was a machinist.
Okay.
And so occasionally he would take me and my brother on a tour of his job. And he told me, he said, you could do anything you want to do, except you don't want to be a machinist.
Wow.
So one day, and I'm going to go forward
Let's
several
go-
years past my college experience from the University of Oregon in Portland State, working a split shift from Quest Communications, I walked into the employment office, and there were two openings for an apprenticeship. And one was for a machinist, and the other was for an electrician.
And what popped in your head, Dad said, not the machine, is it?
That's it. So that's how I
Yeah.
became an electrician.
Oh, wow.
My dad prepared me. He knew
Right.
that I would be at that fork in the road one day.
Wow.
And I had no idea.
What's your dad's name?
Finley Hammond.
Mr. Finley Hammond.
He's gone, yes.
Salute you. Yes.
However, there was a program in Northeast Portland called, at the Urban League, called the LEAP program.
Okay.
And they prepared, I had no idea what I was getting into. And so they prepared us for the interview. I had worked as a summer hire for US West as a garageman. So I knew, I was comfortable wearing coveralls with my name, and I enjoyed the money. That was the...
Money was good.
The money was...
Money was good.
Money, so if you can imagine, when I started the apprenticeship program, and I was told I was going to make some pretty good money. So imagine in 1982, when I completed my program, I was making $25 an hour.
That's huge back then.
It's huge today.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So imagine being single, a
Uh-huh.
single black female in
Yes.
Portland, making $25 an hour as a journeyman
That's awesome.
electrician.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I tried to encourage some of my other sister friends to get into the trades.
What was their reaction
They told me I was crazy. Then,
then? But
today,
now- I wish they would have followed you.
yes, yeah.
I want to talk about something that happened on the job. Now, from my understanding, they were putting up penthouse pictures. What did you do? How did you respond to that?
Oh, I brought in my own pictures. I brought in my Playboy pictures.
Playboy.
Yes, I brought in some of him.
Okay, now what was the response? Because they're trying to basically harass you sexually with the women pictures, and you brought the opposite in. And how was they?
Actually, they set up my workstation right in front of their photos.
Oh my goodness.
So I continued the work. Next day, I brought mine in.
Right.
It's amazing that all of the photos came down.
Okay.
It was almost like magic.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, did we have the sexual harassment laws then?
Oh,
Or
there always have been laws.
But they wasn't really implementing them.
But the other thing is, you couldn't let them see you sweat.
Okay, so that's what I want to speak to the young men and ladies today as they enter into, we have some college students here, as they're entering into this work field, what they're going to encounter.
So one of the things that I had going for me, I had some white guys who were allies, and then I had to understand the culture of what I was going into.
Okay.
It wasn't like when I worked at Meyer and Frank or when I worked for Nordstrom's or the phone company. This was a construction culture, and I had to understand the mindset.
Okay.
The other thing that I found very interesting is that I had relationships with white guys, apprentices as well, and I found out that they were experiencing the same things that I was. So it wasn't necessarily based on my gender or my color. They treated everybody awful.
Was it like nepotism, a lot of that or something?
No, it was more of a class system because of the apprenticeship.
Okay.
And so when you come in at an entry level, they're trying to change the culture because a lot of people can't handle that.
Okay.
But once you understood that, once you get through your 3, 4, 5 year and become a journeyman, you're going to be through. It's almost like a hazing that happens to see if you can withstand and handle the game.
The game, right. Now, how were you able to keep stay you, with all this going on, without being, because a lot of times when we get in situations, we change and we lose ourselves. How was you able to keep yourself?
Family.
Family, okay.
And I mean, there were days when I said I wasn't going to go back to work.
Oh, wow, okay.
Oh yeah, there was days when I'm in tears. And can you give a shout out to someone else?
Absolutely.
Omar Shabazz.
Omar Shabazz
saved my life.
saved her life. We honor you and respect you and appreciate that.
When I was an apprentice,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Omar Shabazz,
Absolutely.
I was an apprentice. We were working at the paper mill and we were given an assignment. And had he not been the sharp electrician that he was, I would not be sitting here. He and I would both be not here on the planet.
Wow.
We were both given an assignment and he was going to let me do the work, but he gave me, there was something that we're always told in the trade. It's like, never trust anybody.
Anybody.
Never.
Never.
You're given an assignment, trust it, verify for yourself. And we were given an assignment and to do a disconnect. And we were shown that it was dead, it was disconnected. We were supposed to disconnect this transformer. And so we were down in a on a pallet in a mud hole. And he said, I'm gonna let you do this, baby girl.
Right.
But we had to go get the testing. He said, we don't trust anybody.
Right.
So it took us a while to get everything we needed. We came back, he let me test it. There was 480 volts there. Had we gone about it the way we would have, thinking it was dead,
Right.
we would have been.
Now, explain to us what 480 volts would do to a person. Because the person might hear what 400 volts, what that means. Because we're working with 24 volt lights. So what is 400 volts?
Well, if you're standing in water, you know electricity and water don't mix.
Don't mix.
Boom.
Boom. You're just gone.
Gone.
That's how powerful.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Now, my understanding, you had another situation where you was working on your instruments and they had turned the.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
Share a little bit about that one as well. And we're
you
gonna
know, yeah, it was again, it was a test. But in that scenario, I want you to know that they were testing me so hard,
yeah.
and I was welding, and I'd like to say that I was following. My grandmother had been a welder as well, so
Okay.
I'm following in my grandmother's footsteps. But I'm welding with about 15 amps, and they turned up the welder to about 35, 40, 50 amps, and I thought my hair was on fire.
They was testing you to the limits.
I turned around, and everybody's just standing there, and then they just walked away.
So they had actually done this before you got there.
No, as I was welding, someone they turned it up. Yes, as I hit the arc, yeah. And
You
so,
have persevered.
but in that regard, and I don't know if you saw this in that article, the guy that I was working with,
Yes.
he knew that the foreman was messing with him because he had told the foreman he didn't like black people. So he made me walk 5 paces behind him when we worked together. He put me on one side of the building and he worked on the other side. He hated black people. And so I did exactly what he wanted me to do.
Right.
I worked hard. I mean, I worked hard. This man ended up giving me the best review that I had ever received in my apprenticeship. One day he came up to me and he invited me home to have rabbit with his family. And then he says, I love all black people. And I said, stop.
Right.
You cannot judge all black people by me.
Exactly.
But he had a bad experience. And then he was judging all black people by that bad experience. And then our relationship, but it bended him, and we became very close.
How important is, and we're going to be wrapping up, how important is relationships when our young people step out into that atmosphere of the jobs? And
It's very key.
Very important,
It's
yeah.
very important. And you have to go below the surface.
Okay.
So he looked at my physical,
Okay.
and he based everything on my gender and my skin color. But then he said, you know what, your work ethic.
Okay.
You're a good craftsperson. We found some commonality. We found out that we both enjoyed fishing. We went below the surface of who we were, not just this physical being that we see who we think we are, but we connected on another level that allowed us to form a relationship.
And that's how important.
It is so important.
And also, Q, and congratulations
Yes.
for you being received the D.A.T.I. Honorary for your work in the community.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Donna Hammond.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of Straight Up. We have a special guest for the Mother's Day. We have some students from Parkrose High School. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers-to-be, ones that's caring for somebody else's children, because you don't have to birth a child to be a mother. And a lot of us are here today because someone took care and concern and shared of their love. Whether it's the grandmother down the street, the neighbor down the street, you shared your love with us. So happy Mother's Day to you as well. Before we get into the show, we got some students from Parkrose High School. We're going to share a little bit with them, but right now, we're going to get a special treat from Monty.
Grandma boy. I set examples for my little sister, like go to school, get good grades, and calling my elders Mrs. and Misters. And if you got a problem, trust little sis, I'll be your listener. Sometimes I get mad, that's just brotherly love, but if you stick to your dreams, you gon' always be above anybody that you can never think of. You gon' run this world better than any presidents. And my 2 other sisters, I ain't forget about them, they check in. to see how I'm doing, and I does the same. My fam, they be pushing me so I can be in this game. My sister Tweety said we need some new rapper, them other ones is lame. And my sister Monet, yeah, she my main. What we got is metaphorically heavier than the crane. Yeah, Tori, she done many magnificent things, like giving birth to my niece. Die, yeah, she a beast. See, I'm the type to say Black Lives Matter too. It ain't just the police, it's the black on black violence too. We killing each other over two colors, red and blue. R.I.P. Eric Garner and Trevor Martin too, just to name a few. That's why I stay quiet and just try to do what I do. Then that's why I stay quiet and try to move right on through. Because so many gang-related homicides occur per year. Also cause of peer pressure. OGs be like, put on for the block, run a her, and rob this cashier so you can get some new girl. See me? I ain't no follower, I'm a leader. Something like Martin Luther King Jr. I got a question for the teachers next. When y'all gonna teach us about my leader, Malcolm X?
Monty! Yeah, talk to you a little bit too. But right now I'm going to talk to the president of Parkrose Black Student Union and some of the members of it. Please introduce yourself and who are you?
So my name is Venicia.
Uh-huh.
I'm a senior at Parkrose High School. I'm president of the Black Student Union there.
Okay. And who do you have with us?
I'm Reggie Richmond.
Okay.
Parkrose High School.
How you doing,
I'm a
Reggie?
senior.
Welcome. Welcome. And
I'm Bianca Denman, and I go to Parkrose High School, and I'm a junior. And I'm Bethel Shanakri. I go to Parkrose, and I'm a senior.
okay, Madam President, what are you going to do? We know you're going to college. What is your goals when you get to college and where you're going?
So I'm going to transfer from a 2-year, and then from there, from a 2-year to a 4-year, and I'm going to go to graduate school because I want to achieve a PhD to be a psychiatrist too.
All right, she's going to study some minds. This young lady going to study some minds. And from my understanding, you're also an actress.
Actress, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like acting and stuff, but like that's like a hobby.
Okay.
More, yeah.
Now, from my understanding, there was a project called Red Doors. Mm-hmm. What did you do at Red Doors?
So at Red Door,
Okay.
they have this thing called AWMC, August Wilson Monologue Competition, every year. And I auditioned, I got accepted, and then we performed at the Newmark Theater
Okay.
in front of like hundreds of people. And I remember getting off stage and like I was crying my eyes out on the stage and when I walked off, because like I put myself into that character so much. And then when I left that theater and to go outside during like the break and stuff, people told me that they was crying with me
Oh, wow.
on the stage.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tyler Perry, you hear that? So how did that make you feel when you came off the stage and people recognized what you had done to them?
You know, I felt good, like, because ever since then, I wasn't, like, all my fears put aside. Like, I just
Okay.
forgot about it,
Okay.
about being scared and stuff.
Now, what is your goals while you are the president of the Black Student Union Parkrose? What's some of the things that you like to see done there?
At the Black Student Union?
Yes.
I like to see, like, the Black students in my Parkrose community to, you know, come together.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's not really a Black community at Parkrose. Like, without Black Student Union, we wouldn't have a celebration in February for, you know, Black History Month. Like, I just want to see more of Black culture.
Black culture, okay. Now, my understanding, you're also part of a D.A.T.I program. Now, what is that about? What is that program?
D.A.T.I, that's with Dr. Audrey Terrell. That's her
Okay.
institute. And she's all about like growing and helping other students
Okay.
and youth to grow too.
You grow too. Okay. And the young man next to you? Yeah, he's the sergeant at arms. Is he a sergeant at arms?
So,
Reggie, tell us a little about Reggie.
all right, I'm a senior at Parkrose.
What you doing over there at Parkrose right now?
Right now, I run track.
Okay.
And I play football. So
What events you running over there?
over there, I run the 200 long jump and the 400.
200. Okay, you got some times yet that you can put out there? What's your time? You got some speed and some endurance. You got the 200, the high jump,
The long jump,
the long jump, and what was the other one?
400.
400. You got some speed. Okay, we have Reggie, and Reggie was sharing a little bit about you doing track.
Yeah, and then
And
football.
you got the 200,
200, the long jump, and the 400.
And you're going to give us some numbers out there real
Alright.
quick.
So in long jump, I jumped the 17:10, but it's like it wasn't. I put my hand back, so they
Okay.
went where my hand was and not where I
Okay.
actually was. And the 200, I ran a 26.2.
Oh, so, okay, you ready to set some records here. Where you going to college at?
College of Redwoods in California, Eureka, California.
Okay. And what are you studying?
Right now I'm going to be studying criminal justice.
Okay. Now, why did you choose criminal justice?
All right, so I chose criminal justice because like when I was a kid, like I always watched like action shows and like
Okay.
and, like G.I. Joe's, like that was my favorite. Yeah, so you know,
Right. You got
something
the
like
action
that.
for real. Huh?
Yeah. So it's like I've been watching those since I was a kid, and it's just like that's just like something that I want to do. Like I want to help better the community, and use that and me be a figure in the world. And
I like that. You said better the community. I like that. I like that. We need that. You know, we need more people involved with the criminal justice system. And, you know, because it's important that we are in every facet of this society. So I commend you, and again, I applaud you for picking up there. Yeah. You got a little business? You going to do some business too?
oh yeah, I'm gonna do the business. I'm gonna study business too.
Okay, absolutely. And who do you have next to you there? Who's that young lady? Who are you?
I'm Bianca.
Okay, Bianca.
Hi,
And you look like somebody else up here. You, okay. Okay.
I'm
Who's this lady here?
That's my sister.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a junior at Parkrose. I'm not really doing any sports at Parkrose, but I am part of BSU.
Okay.
Type of college I want to go to is Clark Atlanta University.
Clark Atlanta, HBU. Go ahead, Clark Atlanta. Yeah.
And I want to like study business. That's what I want to do. And then also I'm into modeling. Like I really want to model just because like when I was younger, I just always wanted the picture on me.
Okay.
So.
Well, the camera's on you right now.
Yep. To start.
I understand you like biology as well.
Yeah, I really like biology. I always pass biology. I'm gonna do AP biology next year.
Okay.
And I also want to do AP Psych too also.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try that and see how it goes.
So you might end up being a doctor, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Another member next to you?
Bessa. I want to go to, I'm going to go to PCC.
I like that. She said, I'm going. Yeah, speak it.
I'm going to do a 2-year a dental assistant
Okay.
because I want to work in the dental field. I want to become an orthodontist. So, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like this because see, a lot of times only thing we see in the news is our young people shooting each other up or, you know, drinking and abusing each other and everything. But we have some young people right here that's talking about doing something and doing something right now in our community. We got some doctors, we got some, might be a detective, might be a chief of police up in there, a potential biologist, model, orthodontist, a dentist. We need all of that. And you know what? Like Ms. Hammond was saying, that's an industry that you can get into and share and serve the people. Because we need you in everything. We can't just, everybody, now I want to talk to Monty in a few minutes too, because people don't understand that Monty is a 3.0 student as well. And a lot of you are students. So people, all the young people are not out banging, shooting each other up, and killing each other. They're about some positive, they got a future, and we need to support them in any way that we possibly can. And speaking about support, each one of you is involved with a D.A.T.I program. Talk a little bit about that. And that lady that is involved with that program.
D.A.T.I, I really like that program.
Okay.
Miss Autry, she tries to help us a lot. She really pushes us to do she wants us to be a good person. She pushes us to do good things.
Absolutely.
I really like it. She's a really good person.
Absolutely. You want to speak a little bit about Dr. Terrell?
Yeah, I really like Dr. Terrell. She reminds me of my grandma, you know. She's always looking out for us, and she just want to see us grow and see the youth doing better. So she's just trying to help out, and I think that's good. Like, it kind of touches me because it's actually somebody who has it that's trying to help us now. And she's just letting us practice with her events and stuff we do. And overall, she's just a good person, and I love D.A.T.I. It's a good program.
Now you talk about an event that you actually helped at. What event was that? Okay.
It was
Somebody help her out.
helping
That's okay.
women helping. Yeah, honoring women.
Okay.
Yeah, Women's Making a Difference award thing. I was part of registering people in, like, so people would get the tickets. Helping people come in, and I'm just getting a little more practice on that.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Who else worked that event?
all of us.
Okay, Pastor Don, share a little bit about working that event and what was that like, that experience?
All right, so working the event, I gave an award
Okay.
to Dr. Angela Owusu Ansa, and
Now, who was she?
she's the head of the BSU at Concordia University.
Doctor, thank you. We appreciate you over there. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
But the one thing about that is, like, she goes to my church.
Okay.
So it's like,
Yes.
yeah. So it's like, after church on Sundays, I'll talk to her and all that. And she's like talking about getting some started over there with Concordia and all that.
Absolutely. Now, what was that feeling like, being able to introduce someone of that stature and, just of your church, and also a doctor and a young man doing that?
It was just like, I wasn't really good at like speaking in front of like crowds and stuff, but but during that I just practiced it, and then I just got used to it, and I just knew what I wanted. I just knew what I had to say. So it was pretty big.
Well, it sounds pretty big right now. What you doing? Who else? You also run the program, that event? How did it go for you?
My mic is on.
Okay. No, go ahead and you said we're going to take no chances.
So my job was to be the person in the background, make sure everybody was here and stuff.
Okay.
And then at the end, I won an award too.
Okay, well, speak on it.
Women moving forward.
Women, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, working that event, was that the first time you ever worked that event?
Yeah.
Some type of event like that?
Uh-huh.
How did that feel, being exposed and getting the opportunity to do what you do and what you did?
Like, it helps me because, it brings me closer to the real world, and because eventually I'm going to have to make events on my own too if I want to be something bigger than I am today.
Right, and that award was moving forward?
Yes.
Okay, you want to share a little bit about what that award meant to you to receive that?
That means I'm actually doing something with myself, and somebody
Absolutely.
sees I am moving forward. So for me just seeing it, it's better to know that somebody else sees that I'm moving.
Okay, now, with the students going to Parkrose today, how are the students responding to each one of you in the organization that you're part of? You getting support? Are they giving you information? Or they say, hey, good job? Or what does it feel like?
From who?
From the students at Parkrose. Anybody can touch on it.
Them about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you're letting them know about what you're doing. And I think it's, go ahead.
Well, a lot of people after because we did this VSU assembly.
Okay.
After assembly, a lot of people wanted to join it, but not actually officially talk to us about it to be in it.
Okay.
We got a few people to be in it, but everybody was just basically saying that we did a good job and that they just want to be a part now. And we take anybody of any color to
Absolutely.
any race.
Now, you heard from a lady earlier today. You heard from a rabbi, Miss Rabbi, and you heard from Miss Donna, Hammond, and they was pioneering the way. They was opening the doors for other people. Whether you young people realize it or not, what you're doing at Parkrose is opening the door for somebody else. The people that came and talked to you, now they want to get involved. If you ladies and gentlemen wouldn't have never done what you done,
I'm gonna be here now.
so you're opening the doors, you're pioneering the way, and I salute you on that. Absolutely. I salute you. How's the school? How's the grades going? Gotta ask.
My grades are going good.
Excellent,
I
excellent.
actually have all A's
Oh,
right now.
wow. That's a 4-point.
Yep.
Go ahead.
My favorite class is leadership. I'm in this leadership class where we just go around the school and make events for the school, or we do assemblies and stuff like that. I'm in Elevate.
Okay.
And Elevate is a program where they help you grow as well. They're like a mentor, like a big sister, big brother. they're like your friend and also like a parent at the same time.
I just appreciate you people just so positive. I don't want my come on up here. Go get Monty. Behind him, Monty. And I want to just tap him. He's a 3.0 student. And he's like he's a mechanic. A little bit about what the D.A.T. program is to you.
It's a lot, you know. Dr. Terrell, man,
D.A.T. program mean to you?
it means a lot.
Keeps you focused?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm with some of the Parkrose students here, and we're just talking a little bit about Monty. He's a 3.0 student at Parkrose. He's also a rapper, and he's also a mechanic. And what else you doing over there? You playing sports, football? What you doing?
Basketball.
Basketball? Right. Now, what's the D.A.T. program? It inspires you?
Inspired me to do a lot more stuff, like hang out with more people. 'Cause, you know, I'm a antisocial a little bit.
Right.
No, it's my main group right
That's
here.
your group right here? Now, where did you get that inspiration for those raps that you're doing?
Cause I seen a bunch of stuff happen. Like my dad was telling me stories about him when he was younger, how like gang related and all that, and then he didn't want me growing up in that life, so I just basically wrote a rap about it.
So what's rap? What does it do to you when you start putting them lyrics out like that?
Music. I don't know.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
You got a CD coming out?
Mm-hmm.
When's it coming out? What's the name? It. Tell us a little bit about that CD.
Well, my single is gonna come out.
You said
on
his
my
single. He said his single. Excuse us. Go ahead.
My single is gonna come out on my birthday, the 26th of this month.
What's the name of it?
Come here.
Come here. Can you put a little bit something out for us? Just can you give people? You gotta give them a teaser. You gotta give them a touch.
I'ma just. It's about girls. I can.
It's about girls.
It's about girls.
How'd you get inspired by doing that?
My dad, he's a rapper, so and his bars are just up there.
His what?
His bars.
His bars just up there?
Yeah, he's just up there. So,
yeah. But the people right now is waiting for just a few bars of that. The girl.
that.
Just a little bit. All the ladies looking around. They waiting. They waiting. Come on.
Let me start this off talking about Bessa. She's so attractive, you would think God blessed her. She be pulling boys wherever, whenever. First time I saw her, we had Spanish together. She said I was annoying, but we had got better. Now, her life is what I had entered without barely any effort.
Oh, go ahead. Go. That's Monty. That's Monty. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we've been sharing with Parkrose High School. Dr. Terrell, can you come on up here? I want y'all to see who Dr. Terrell is. This young lady has been helping these young people. Give her a hand. Yes, come on in here, Dr. Terrell. Yes. Dr. Terrell. Come on over here. This Dr. Terrell, how did it start?
It started, I relocated from Detroit, and I'm a retiree, and I'm finding I have every day of the year. But my concern is about young people. For them to get a job, to finish school, go to school, finish, and to be some kind of support to them. And not all people go to college. You can get a union job, a well-paying union job, as Donna Hammond has spoken about earlier. So D.A.T.I is to reach out, touch the lives of people, not only young people, there's some older people that need a little help, and do what I can in my retirement years to make a difference in the lives of people.
She said in her retirement, don't like she retiring to me. she's still going on. And we also want to give a blessing and prayers out there.
He's doing so much better.
Let the audience know who he is and put the prayers out to him.
My son's name is Charles Terrell. He's been under the weather. He works for Nike, and he hasn't been at work for about a month. But you know what's going on with the sports going on right now, so he's itching to get back to work. But he needs a little time to take care of himself, so certainly appreciate every prayer that's possible to go up for him.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Terrell, members of the D.A.T.I, Parkrose High School, Monty, with a single coming out called The Girls.
No, it's called Come Here.
It's called Girls Come Here. Thank you for joining another edition of Straight Talk. Have a blessed day. Happy Mother's Day to all of you.
I set examples for my little sister. I go to school, get good grades, and calling my elders misses and misters. And if you got a problem, trust little sis, I'll be your listener. Sometimes I get mad, that's just brotherly love. But if you stick to your dreams, you gon' always be above anybody that you can never think of. You gon' run this world better than any presidents. And my two other sisters, I ain't forget about them. They check in to see how I'm doing, and I does the same. My family be pushing me so I can be in this game. My sister Tweety said we need some new rapper, them other ones is lame. And my sister Monet, yeah, she my main. What we got is metaphorically heavier than the crane. Yeah, Tori, she done many magnificent things, like giving birth to my niece. Yeah, she a beast. See, I'm the type to say Black Lives Matter too. It ain't just the police, it's the black on black violence too. We killing each other over two colors, red and blue. R.I.P. Eric Garner and Trevor Martin too, just to name a few. That's why I stay quiet and just try to do what I do. Then that's why I stay quiet and try to move right on through. Because so many gang-related homicides occur per year. Also cause of peer pressure. OGs be like, put on for the block, running her and rob this cashier so you can get some new girl. See me? I ain't no follower, I'm a leader. Something like Martin Luther King Jr. I got a question for the teachers next. When y'all gonna teach us about my leader, Malcolm X?